What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you another one. And this one is American Skin Ending Fully Explained. What's good, my people? Happy that you are here. Happy you are back. Hopefully you had a chance to watch the incredible movie by Nate Parker, American Skin. If you have not had that chance, let me tell you something. Go watch that movie and then come back to this video. I have a review. I have a breakdown of the trailer before the review. And now this one is going to explain the full ending of this movie. And as always, if any one of these movies that I put out about American Skin hits 500 likes, I will give away one copy of the movie to a subscriber who left a comment on this video. Gotta be in it to win it, so make sure that you're subscribed and click that bell so you can be notified every time I drop a new video. Okay, let's get into it. So American Skin follows the plight of a man who, after his son is shot by a police officer during a traffic stop, and then the officer is not convicted or even put on trial, just let go for all of what he did to his son, he decides to take matters into his own hand and take the police officer and all the cops inside the police station hostage in order to put this police officer on trial. Finally, the trial he should have had, and a fair trial, might I say. He wants the jury to be 100% impartial, and he tells them if the jury does not find you guilty, you can walk right out of here. Now, the twist of this is that a lot of the jury are inmates, which the cop does not like because he says they can't be impartial, but he does instruct them to be impartial. Now, this is the shoe being on the other foot because the cop wants it to be a jury of his peers, but instead he gets inmates. That's exactly what happens to black people all the time. We do not see juries of our peers. We just see a bunch of white people when we go to court. And the prosecutors know this and purposely keep black people off of juries, even though it is a proven fact that black people have convicted other black people of crimes. They don't want to take any chances. Of course, in the end, it's all about them advancing their career, and how they do so is by convictions. So during this trial, Lincoln Jefferson, played by Nate Parker, who is the father of the kid that was slain, becomes the prosecutor. And to be fair, the cop who pulled the trigger is given a defense attorney, which is one of his fellow officers, which is played by Theo Rossi. Now, what this does is force these people to actually listen to each other's argument, because they are in no position to not listen at this particular time. When we see people have the same exact argument, we never see them actually listen to each other's side. This way, they had no choice but to listen to each other, which is shown in the jury. We hear the cops say typical things that cops would say in this situation, and we hear all of the counter arguments. And a lot of counter arguments come from the members of the jury, for lack of a better word, that are the convicts of the jury. And we hear the other people who are not convicts, they side with the police in the beginning, but after listening to both arguments, in the end, they decide that this man is guilty. Now, even before the verdict, one of the convicts goes to Nate's character and says, listen, will you be able to follow through with this if you get a guilty conviction? And he says yes. So what he's supposed to do is execute this cop in front of everybody and get justice for his son. But before he does so, he gives the cop a chance he never had, a chance to say goodbye. So he gives the cop a cell phone, tells him to call his wife, speak to his own child, and tell them that he's not going to be making it home. After the cop goes to this emotional phone call, his wife's like, we're coming down there right now, please don't hang up. They hang up the phone. Nate takes the gun, he puts it to his head, and then he pulls the trigger, but a bullet does not come out. Then he says to him, that's what I felt like this whole time after my child was killed. So I know a lot of people wish that he killed this cop, but there's no way he could do that. That would not make a good movie. It would be more like a propaganda piece if he did execute the cop, because it's not about violence. You can't solve violence with violence. It's about healing this story. It's about allowing somebody to walk in your shoes, allowing someone to feel the emotion that you have felt and you have gone through. And that's what this cop does, and that's why he says, I never thought about it this way. I want to walk out with you when this is all said and done. So after Lincoln does this, he's willing to give himself up. He unhandcuffs all the cops, and then he walks out the building. As soon as he walks out the building, a sniper shoots him in the top of the head and kills him dead on the spot. Which is exactly what they would do to you. There's no way they would allow you to walk out on the spot. They would execute you on the spot, just like they did, which I thought was a great realistic ending. And then we see the news report, and we see all the propaganda and the spinning of how he had mental issues and everything else. And then right after they do all that, they get you out of that mindset by going right to a sports game and talking about sports to distract you from exactly what happened, to try to sweep this under the rug. That's how the media does you. They give you their narrative, and all the people who watch the movie, you know that that's an incorrect narrative, but all the people throughout the world who watch that newscast is going to believe everything the news says. And then they distract you, they put you out there and give you something to placate you, some sports. Here's your sports, forget about that, this is over, and that's the way it ends. In the end, the meaning to this movie is listen to what other people are saying and try to feel what other people are feeling. We are all human beings. Black lives do matter. And not all cops do things just because they're racist. It has a lot to do with lack of training or bad training, however you want to look at it. I thought it was a masterful ending, a very strong, emotional, and powerful ending. And I think it could not have been done any better whatsoever. But you tell me in the comment section, did you like the ending? And if not, what would you have liked him to do to end this movie? And please tell me why. And if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, please spread this across the realm, and please subscribe. The more subscribers I get, the easier it is for me to get interviews with cast members and everything else from this movie and other movies. Help a brother out by subscribing to this channel. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.